streamers who got caught cheating live. Here we go.
From using aimbot during a live CSGO tournament to completing Super Mario 64 with a see-through blindfold, these are the dumbest streamers who were caught in 4K cheating. Beginning with Elm Zero, who accidentally left his aimbot on whilst trying out for a professional esports team.
Why?
At this point, Elm Zero had built up a respectable
3,000
Twitch followers for his impressive Apex Legends gameplay. However, while trialing for the pro team Zenith, judges noticed that his aim was almost too impressive. And while this first kill was arguably still possible without aimbot, his next kill was significantly more suspicious.
I mean, come on, bro.
Elm Zero shoots through the wall as if he already knew where the enemy was before locking onto the player with near perfect accuracy.
That's not obvious.
Was instantly called out in a Twitter post reading, "How are people streaming cheats in Scrims LMAO?" which received a response explaining that he was known for cheating on PUBG in the past.
Like, why would you cheat?
I was banned by the PUBG Corp for
cheating.
My ban message said hacking.
Determined to expose Elm Zero for good, another clip was tweeted of him warming up for the match, in which his aim was once again robotically accurate, and with the evidence seeming conclusive, Zenith Esports would make a tweet explaining that Elm Zero was not contracted with us and has been removed from our trial process, which was followed by Elm Zero deleting all of his social media before disappearing from the internet.
Can you imagine being a big, like, COD streamer and you get caught cheating? Oh my God, life is over. Your life would be over.
At the time, he was streaming to a small audience of only 16 people. However, this was enough for one of his viewers to notice the fishy gameplay, writing in the chat, "Is that aimbot? On your screen, it has like red squares around them." Semper was dumb enough to read the comments out loud.
"My screen has red squares around them."
And after pretending to be confused for a couple of seconds, the stream ended abruptly and the footage was deleted. In the days that followed, Semper denied cheating and threatened to ban anyone bringing it up.
"No, it's not. No, it's not. And I didn't, dude.
It's not?
If you want to get banned, you can keep saying that."
Yet after
ban me, bro! Ban me! You cheated! Look, if you get caught, just own it. Just own it. It's better to just own up to it and be like, "Yeah, guys, I was cheating. I'm so sorry. It'll never happen again." I mean, people are still going to give you a hard time about it, but I mean, come on, dude.
After being pressured by the audience, Semper admitted to cheating in the weakest way possible.
"There was wall hacks on my computer yesterday on stream. Like, I'm not denying that. I just don't know how they got there."
However,
bro.
To some kind of wrongdoing,
like somebody came into your room.
Cheating on a
I've seen this one.
The streamer in question was the name of Miss Q. Clara, and just prior to being exposed, she'd state that people often.
Bro, let me call Claire real quick.
She was female.
You know what's really sad? That sometimes, you know, because I'm female in Counter-Strike, people are like, "You're cheating."
However, the real reason behind why she was called a cheater revealed itself just minutes later, as she'd begin her first CSGO game of the stream.
Claire's in chat.
Hacks enabled.
Ah, what? They're mid.
To be. I'm going back to B.
Bro!
After dying in the game, she'd come to notice her colossal-sized mistake and attempted to play the whole thing off by stating that she had some weird glitch.
Do you guys ever get that weird glitch in CSGO where it shows your rank? It shows everyone's rank. I played the other day.
This clip is world famous, bro.
I have it. I don't know why. It's weird.
Which was then followed by Miss Q Gemini, stating that someone named Clara had been playing on her computer.
She's behind my head. I know you can't see me. She's behind me.
Wait, Clara! Hold on. Clara! Clara!
Clara!
Just message this girl. Give me 1 second. Why is this on my computer right now? Where is this? How do I close this? I need to text my friend Clara right now. She was at my house earlier today. I'm literally gonna kill her. She promised me she didn't use it on my PC. Clara, out of all people, this is what happens when you let people use your PC.
Realizing that there was no getting out of this, Miss Q Gemini began to trade all of her items to a brand new account, yet unfortunately this wouldn't stop a Twitch ban, which happened later that day. And while it's certainly shameless to blame a friend for the hacks on your computer, it's not nearly as shameless as aimbotting during a professional CSGO.
Did she end up coming back though? I feel like I heard that she started a new account and tried to stream again or something.
2018, and in the 5 games played after joining, Forsaken had always placed either second or first. While many assume that Forsaken was nothing more than a very talented player, it will be after flying to a $100,000 prized professional tournament in Shanghai, China, that Optic Forsaken was exposed brutally. The tournament began with Forsaken taking taking large breaks in the warm-up rounds as if he was trying to set something up on his computer in the background, yet it would only be after the main matches began that Forsaken's plays became incredibly suspicious. This first strange flick into the ground was followed by countless examples of him locking perfectly onto the enemy,
It's like a magnet.
And while there was a chance that some of these
Come
kills
on,
could
dude.
still be made by a high-level player, it will be with one final matchup that Forsaken's aimbot became obvious.
Oh, he was shooting. He's shooting through the crate. I mean, come
Locking
on.
onto the enemy through a wall, event organizers called a timeout, and officials made their way over to Forsaken's computer to figure out if he was cheating.
Your career's
At first,
over, bro.
Forsaken refused access to his computer. However, the officials would ignore this and look anyway, during which
Career's
Forsaken
over.
kept pushing them away from his computer while he tried to delete the aimbot right in front of their faces.
You got caught.
Despite having traveled all the way from India, Forsaken and the whole Optic team were instantly disqualified
I mean,
from
come
the
on.
tournament, which became even worse when Forsaken issued a public statement explaining that neither his team, manager, or coach had even the faintest idea that he was hacking. The scandal eventually resulted in Optic India shutting down altogether, but Forsaken isn't the only person in this video to
That's
cheat in a
sad. One
professional
person
tournament.
cheating
Because during
caused the whole
professional Fortnite
thing
tournament
to
with a
crash.
$500,000 prize, the following scenario happened to a player by the name of Marky Locuris.
What?
Despite being down and finished countless times by his opponent, a glitch prevented Marky from being eliminated. Whilst being revived, Marky told his teammate to keep quiet
What?
about what had happened, which
Is
was
that a
followed by
thing?
the two unfairly killing the player who had downed Marky originally. After continuing to play normally, Marky was approached by event organizers who asked him to leave the match, yet he'd refused, stating that what had happened was a glitch and was part of the game. While he would eventually give up and leave, this prompted discussion online about whether Marky had cheated or not. I don't think
Did
he
he?
was cheating, I think he just went with it. All these kids saying he wasn't
Chat, do you
cheating.
think he was
knew
cheating?
He wasn't taking damage and got revived, and continued the game even though he should have died. That's considered an exploit and is cheating. Fun
Okay,
fact,
I
the
can
first
see
glitch
that
was
one.
actually a glitch, but he decided to abuse it.
Yeah,
There was
okay, if
certainly
it
an
was a
argument
glitch and
for
you
whether
know
Marky's
you were
behavior
supposed to die,
constituted
just
cheating.
in the game,
However,
just get
the
out.
same couldn't be said for Captain Baldy, who accidentally showed his aimbot whilst trying to prove that he wasn't cheating. Up until this point, Captain Baldy had built up a Warzone kill death ratio of over 2, yet similar to the Apex Legends player in the beginning, Captain Baldy would be called out on Twitter after locking onto an enemy who was running behind a wall.
Infinity HP, right?
Another clip then surfaced where Captain Baldy displayed suspiciously accurate shooting, and as a result, his chat began to fill with people calling him a cheater. Determined to prove his innocence, Captain Baldy agreed to show his task manager, yet hilariously seemed to instead tap the key which brought up his cheat menu.
Task manager? Yo, they want my task manager? Hold up. Control delete.
No, control delete task manager. Put it up, throw it up.
Oh my god.
The chat then mocked Captain Baldy relentlessly, which was followed by a live Warzone ban later in the stream.
Disconnected from COD.
Oh my god.
Hammer.
With the
You
Captain Baldy
cannot
saga
be this
ending with the
dumb.
deletion of his entire Twitch
You
channel.
cannot
Getting
be
caught while
that
checking the
dumb.
Task manager was a trend continued by Call of Duty streamer Young, although he didn't take his expose as humbly as Captain Baldy did. Young's viewers noticed that he always seemed to know where the enemy was coming from, so just like our last cheater, the audience requested that he show his task manager. Now, Young wasn't dumb enough to bring up the entire cheat menu, however, after accessing the task manager, his stream display bugged out and showed a second window where his hacks could be seen clearly. After being banned from Call of Duty, Young would take to his Twitter, on which he'd make an idiotically arrogant tweet reading, "Got mad free press tonight, over 2k views overall. Some people even posted my gameplay online. Thanks for the shoutouts, people, really appreciate the help."
Are
Although
you
these
kidding
2,000
me?
views worth of free press didn't
You're
contribute to
lying. Dang.
long-term growth of his career, as Young hasn't gone live on Twitch ever since. However, Young still looks like a genius.
Come on.
Twisted bear, whose Twitch
Come on,
description
bro.
boldly claimed
Cheaters
that he was
just
at the top
make
modern
games
warfare
not
player.
fun.
The reason for this claim would become apparent in July of 2020 when he'd go live displaying his skills, only he completely forgot that he had his wall hacks on.
Oh
The end
dear,
to Twisted
sweet
Bear's
Jesus.
career
I
was
mean, don't
then
get me wrong.
unbelievably
I
quick.
suck at
He was banned
first-person
from Call of
shooters.
Duty,
I
then Twitch, and was
completely
never heard
am
from
terrible.
again. But this is what
100% terrible, but I would never cheat.
Mr. Golds,
Never
who made a
cheat.
much larger spectacle
Hey, Emka, how you doing? It's good to see you. Happy
and
Sunday.
Mr. Golds was a much more significant figure in the Call of Duty community, sporting a Twitch follower count of over 50,000. During a live stream to an audience of approximately 1,700 people, Mr. Golds brought up his task manager before beginning to brag about how he was so good at Call of Duty that he didn't cheat.
Is it the first time you see someone good at the game? Have you ever seen anyone playing like me? Like seriously?
Although he didn't seem to notice that he'd also accidentally brought up his cheat menu, on which he had aim at enemies turned on. Despite having 1,800 viewers at the time, almost nobody was talking in the chat or calling him out for it, showing that he was probably also viewbotting. However, while the chat remained pretty quiet, the incident was shared to Twitter, where it received over 2,000 likes and 700 retweets. After being temporarily banned from Call of Duty and Twitch, Mr. Golds would upload an apology video in which he'd state that he didn't mean to download the cheats.
I truly am sorry about. I didn't mean to.
What does he mean?
Yeah,
I
didn't mean to.
You don't download and use cheats without meaning to. I mean,
exactly.
Before going on to try and convince his audience that this wasn't who he was.
This is not who I am. This is really not who I am.
Despite having cheated for months in the lead up to his expose. I
didn't mean to.
Gold's Twitch channel is an advertisement for big cryptocurrency giveaways from Tesla, which sounds like an even bigger scam than his wall hacks. However, a more interesting question to ponder is what happens when a game developer gets caught cheating on his own game.
I've seen this one too.
Autonil, the H1Z1 technical director, who was caught using invisibility whilst live on stream.
You can't see me? Oh my god, am I hidden? Oh my god.
Judging from his reaction, the cheat had definitely been left on accidentally.
That's crazy, bro.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry, guys.
Damn, I actually feel for the dev. You can tell he felt really bad.
I think so. I feel like that was probably unintentional.
FaZe Jarvis, who was given a lifetime ban on Fortnite after cheating publicly. On the 4th of November 2019, FaZe Jarvis would upload a video titled "Fortnite Gave Me Aimbot," in which he'd explained that he was given hacks by an unknown person in random duos.
Something crazy actually happened. I got in a random duos game, and he was telling me like he can get aimbot and everything.
And that he was going to test the hacks for his video.
Okay.
This is what happens. Look, aimbot, FOV, aimbot. I don't know what half this stuff means, but it's actually about to be lit. We're about to pop off.
Over the following 7 minutes, Jarvis lit up every single person in the lobby with his insane aimbot accuracy.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, bro. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
Whilst explaining that he was using a new account and a new computer so he wouldn't get banned.
Spock, how you doing?
I don't want to have aimbot on my main account. I had to go on a new PC. Like, I don't want to get my main PC banned.
Jarvis finished the video by once again reiterating that you shouldn't hack and that his dummy account was most certainly going to get banned.
Never use aimbot, okay? Never do it. You're gonna get banned. I'm 100% gonna get banned on this account.
Yet he probably didn't expect that Fortnite would watch his video and ban every single one of his accounts permanently. In the days that followed, Jarvis would upload a new video titled "I've been banned from Fortnite, I'm sorry," in which he explained that he could no longer play the game.
I've actually been permanently banned on Fortnite for life. Recently, I posted some videos of me using aimbot. It didn't even cross my mind to think that I could be banned for life on Fortnite.
Before stating that he was extremely sorry for his actions.
Chat, what do you think?
You know, it's obvious that I made a massive mistake. And of course, I would
Don't
never
cry.
think about
Bro.
doing anything like this again.
Don't cry.
I know now how big of a mistake this was. And like,
it's
just, there's nothing I can...
The video accompanied a tweet by Jarvis reading, "I'm going to take accountability for my actions, and I understand completely why this has happened. I just wish I had known how severe the consequences were at the time, and I would have never thought about doing it. I love all of you who still support me. This is not the end."
That's like people saying I wouldn't have sold I wouldn't have sold that 100 pounds of fentanyl if I'd have known it was going to put me in jail for the rest of my life. Do you know what I'm saying? If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have sold this 100 pounds of fentanyl. I thought maybe they would just hit me with probation for 3 months. You know what I'm saying?
And while Jarvis did seem
Like,
quite
come on.
apologetic for his actions, Fortnite would make an example out of Jarvis by banning any new accounts that he tried to create. The interesting thing is Jarvis's punishment was still less severe than Super Fast Jellyfish, who might have the craziest cheating story in this whole video. Super Fast Jellyfish was a Super Mario 64 speedrunner who wanted to join the exclusive 9-person list of Super Mario players who had completed the game whilst blindfolded. In the lead up to his blindfolded attempts, Super Fast Jellyfish had been playing Super Mario 64 for 3.5 years, leading him to believe that he had enough experience to beat the game without eyesight, and apparently he was correct, as he'd successfully complete the blindfolded challenge after only 3 tries. However, his ability to complete the challenge with such ease prompted a user by the name of Charlie Brown 64 to upload a video titled "Obvious Cheater Fakes Blindfolded Super Mario 64 Speedrun," in which he tears Super Fast Jellyfish's run to absolute shreds.
Only a true gamer such as this man would be able to somehow sidestep this Goomba, quickly make his way up the path, and then do this long jump to the next red, all completely blindfolded and with absolutely no setup necessary. Not only does he somehow know exactly where the 1-up box is, but he also knows exactly what direction the 1-up will go in once it spawns, something completely determined by RNG. Then, after chasing it on a moving platform for a completely arbitrary amount of time, he somehow knows exactly when and where to jump to the left. Watch now as he somehow knows exactly where he is on the spinning platform and knows exactly where the first pole is. Again, anyone who was actually blindfolded here would have probably just kept holding left and run off. However, this guy is able to make a completely random amount of adjustments to make it onto the pole.
19 days after
that's
Charlie
pretty.
Brown uploaded his
That's kind of
expose,
sus.
Super Fast Jellyfish uploaded a bizarre apology video in which he tried to claim that the run had been faked deliberately.
That speed run was purposely fake. It was purposely fake.
Why?
Yet nobody seemed to buy any of his lies.
Why?
Super Fast Jellyfish's time
Why
in the
would you
spotlight
fake?
ended with a
Why
dislike
would you
ratio
fake
of
a
over 95%.
blindfold speed run? Why? Why would you fake a blindfold speed run of Mario 64? You tell me why. Tell me why. Just for funsies? For what? Man, I mean, I suck at these games, bro, but I'll never cheat.